Dan Mace, born 1990, March 7th, as a Pisces, if you're into that sort of thing. This dude is an aspiring motherfucker. Right now, he is the CCO of Beast Philanthropy, and I believe he does much, if not most of the editing, a lot of the story configuration at Beast Philanthropy, and has very little to do with Jimmy other than Jimmy is his boss, so let's not judge him on all the controversy. But even Casey has said that Dan is a far better filmmaker than Casey.
If you're having trouble following along, don't worry, so am I, but you just have to trust the brilliance and the creativity of the great Dan Mace.
Now, Dan Mace alone has brought that storytelling element of the way MrBeast Philanthropy feels on YouTube now to top peak. However, it is quite the tragedy because I was a big fan of what he did on his own channel. Now, I could definitely question to think that Dan does belong somewhere more like Beast Philanthropy, as he does come from a background of documentary filmmaking and commercials before he started doing the vlog with Casey and went into the whole YouTube direction. And he does still occasionally post on his channel. It's just very, very rare. However, when it is, it's very, very good. Like an entire hour-long breakdown of how he does Jimmy's channel. For those that follow Dan's career, we know that he had a longtime girlfriend and then they got married.
And now I've gotten to a point in my life where all I want to do is be with this one person.
And now he has a kid. He had a baby maybe a year and a half ago or so, right around the time he started working for Beast Philanthropy. He has a film company in South Africa.
Production house and agency called Joe, which is named after my beautiful sausage dog that passed.
So it's important for him to keep his employees going as well as himself, especially now that he's trying to support a family. It's interesting to think about how good of a filmmaker Dan is, and you look at how good these videos are, but yet he gets paid more by working for Beast Philanthropy. Dan's channel is extremely successful compared to mine and probably 99% of people's on YouTube, but compared to like the most popular channels, it's very, very small. I don't know, it might have like around 1 million subscribers, which, you know, is a lot, but for a man of Dan's caliber, it's surprising. Then we can look at someone like Sarah Dietschy, who could be seen in the same vein as maybe Peter McKinnon, sort of a crossbreed between a storytelling filmmaker and a how-to YouTuber. But you see, to me, people like Peter McKinnon, Dan Mace, and of course Casey Neistat, among others like Maddie Hatoya and Potato Jet, perhaps more niche, but these are the people that I think of when I think of big YouTubers, or at least for a long time they were. But I suppose I was trapped in my own niche. Like Casey is way more mainstream, but the others definitely resemble a similar style of content. But the other day, out of curiosity, I looked at Sarah Dietschy's subscriber number, and although large, she hadn't hit 1 million. The others may have over 1 million, and all of these people have made successful and long-lasting careers, but they certainly are nowhere near, not even close to upper echelon of YouTube, other than Casey, even though they probably are top 1%. And it's interesting to think about that someone like Mudahar, who I also very much enjoy and is also skilled in his own way, does not possess the skill levels of filmmaking that the others do, may have more success or at least more subscribers than the former. The most creative channels are never necessarily the most successful channels. Like, I get it, and I get why Casey Neistat in 2024 doesn't work as well as Casey Neistat in whatever, 2018. But when things like this and things like this are brain-rotting society, and more specifically children, it really does make me wonder about how the world is doing in general and how the health of YouTube is doing. Now, one thing Peter McKinnon has just said in a recent video is that he wants to get back to prioritizing more vlogs.
Love making videos, and I want to do that more and prioritize it more.
Taking us along for the ride while he makes more videos, and maybe he just needs an excuse to make more videos, and I really enjoy these videos. But him saying this and being such an old YouTube head And probably knowing YouTube much better than most of us, it really says something about the platform. Even Peter McKinnon, somebody that got the fist bump from Casey Neistat in the vlogging era, knows that the vlogs aren't going to work as well as they once did. And again, I get it, but then when you look at someone like Dan Mace and how much work he put into it, and like, again, they did work. Some of them have millions of views, but then when compared to something like a game show, MrBeast is basically The Price is Right. It's saddening, I guess. But I guess it's just more niche content, and I guess the life of an artist in general, because I suppose if you look back into history, artists have done one particular medium or the other in a more wholesome way, in a more soul-driven way. They're not going to usually be the most successful. I'm sure there was many other vloggers doing many creative things. Maybe there's another Dan Mace that only has 100 subscribers. I always say the best rapper in the world probably lives in a basement at his grandma's house somewhere and will never actually make a CD, but yet he freestyles better than Eminem ever could. But at least during that era, these people got their props along with their format. And it will be interesting to see if Peter McKinnon, one of the most successful in that particular niche, I guess you call him the camera niche, how Peter McKinnon's new vlogs go and how they are different from his old ones. What I'm getting at is popular doesn't mean good, and it affects my content as well because I've started to think about sort of a different strategy. I'm still bullet pointing things out and I'm working on my big projects in the background, but I've realized that it takes so long to make those high quality videos when only being one person. You end up not really getting an audience. You don't really get the subscribers you need. And even then you still can't compete with studios because a lot of the videos that I've tried to make compare them something like Vice. Probably not as good, but that's the quality I've tried to go for in the past. Then they end up not getting that quality because I'm trying to get them done fast enough to actually get the subscribers. I guess I'm just not James Janney. When it comes to the video styles that I like on YouTube, well, I like all different kinds. Some of it is super high quality, James Janney, almost like Netflix on YouTube, and I respect it. And I love the vlogs and the paper mache floating around everywhere, the style that we've been talking about. The in-between stuff that some of the same creators make, like Peter McKinnon and Sarah Dietschy. And I hate to say it, but I also like creators like Tom Dark or Asmongold. And a lot of times Asmongold's better than the algorithm. Like, I don't even necessarily like Asmongold that much. I just like going in his description. Like, he'll find, or his audience will find him some cool video I never would have seen otherwise. And I'll see him with his little face in the corner, which is pretty messed up. Seen a lot of stuff about how messed up that is, but it's not as bad as AI. And sometimes I'll watch that video that's linked in his description first and be like, I'm glad that I'm on the Asmongold algorithm, and then I'll come back to the Asmongold video version and watch his commentary because I like his reaction, and sometimes I just need some second monitor material while I'm doing whatever on my other monitor. I think if you are doing anything artistic, making videos or photographs or painting, making rap, whatever it might be, money is nice, but I make none, but it's still worth it to do because I like the feedback and I just like doing it, if nothing else for myself, to remember my life, to paint a painting of whatever. It's like capturing time in a time capsule. And the thing is there's a lot of people making videos nowadays, and a lot of them are very entertaining, and some of them are really high quality, and some of them are really artistic, and some of the ones that are lower quality are really entertaining still. So the way I see it, I guess there's the camera niche, and then there's the camera niche. There's Potato Jet, who is full on camera niche. I love him, but I can see where he wouldn't get that wide of appeal. However, he has more subscribers than Sarah Dietschy, who I would say is sort of the camera niche, but more of a creator niche slash vlogging niche, which you would think would be widespread in popularity. And then there's Casey Neistat, who was totally mainstream there for a while, but you could sort of put him into that same category of content. Doing collabs with Peter McKinnon and actually being friends with many of these people in real life, and you can see where their content is similar. And then Dan Mace, I would say, is sort of in between Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat as far as what he makes. However, I mean, Peter has more subscribers, but then Peter's been putting out more videos too. It's like storytelling. It doesn't really matter what so-called niche you're in, everybody enjoys a good story. And if you're talking to creators in general, then you have a wider audience than just talking about cameras. I'm just trying to think this through out loud to you guys or with you guys or whatever. Like and subscribe. So as somebody that makes videos, it's really impossible not to find inspiration from every single one of these people. And making this video, I was getting footage for this video and going back and watching stuff that I hadn't seen in a while. And they were inspiring the first time I seen them, and they're inspiring now. And at different levels in the journey, I keep learning different things. So when it comes to Dan, there's just so much there. There's like his tutorial videos, of course, and his breakdown of how he does Beast Philanthropy. But this time around, I started watching some of the other tricks or noticing things that I just didn't notice before. Not that I couldn't, but maybe I couldn't. And really, a lot of what Dan does is probably unnecessary to tell the story or to get a viral YouTube video. It even may work against getting a viral YouTube video because not everybody's going to appreciate it, and because of how time consuming some of the things that he puts into his films are. For people that like cameras and like editing and love to make YouTube videos for themselves and others, that like we watch it and we go, oh my God, like, that must have took some time to do. I mean, he has his musical videos, but I mean, every single video is cut, sound effects everywhere. Everything's done like very high quality, documentary. You know, you can say Netflix style. I feel like calling it Netflix is like overrated because I've never seen anything like that on Netflix. However, he was on Disney Plus. He was on Discovery Plus. So, I mean, he is in the traditional world, but I feel like Dan does represent that perfect blend from traditional to YouTube that people have been talking about for the last however long, 10, 15 years. And he's still a huge inspiration because you can watch a Beast Philanthropy video, and if you know what you're looking for, you can see Dan Mace all over it, even if he's not in the video. There's no wrong way to create content, but you'll probably have better luck creating certain kinds for YouTube. And what I've realized in the last however little while is that YouTube likes a certain type, right? There's a lot of different types that it likes, but there are certain trends and there's certain things that you kind of have to do on YouTube. It's not necessarily the place to do all the artistic things that you want as much as I want it to be. Maybe at one time it was, maybe it never was. I'm not really sure. But all I know is that if you're creating something, keep doing it, alter it. Maybe you'll figure out a way for it to work, or at least you're keeping your brain going. It feels good to always have something new to learn, purpose behind it, because this has given me a lot of purpose regardless if I stay at the same sub number forever. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll either see you in the next video or see you in the next live, but hopefully in the next video.